welcome to Ultimate Survival Gear. Today, as you guys can see, I have something yet again from New Balance. Let's open up the box and see what we got. Haven't had anything from New Balance on this channel for a while, so definitely happy to review the all-new New Balance Fresh Foam X Hierro version 1, or just V1. And I have to say, I am a fan of these excellent comfort, excellent features, absolutely fantastic Vibram outsole, but we will talk about all the details later in the review. So if you are really interested in buying this boot, make sure to stick around, because this is not just a regular boot shoe review. No, this review is specifically for my Ultimate Survival boots section. Yes, basically if this wasn't just your hiking boot, but something bad happened and you were wearing this and now you are surviving in this. You had to go through different terrains, you had to run, you had to climb, you had to fight, do whatever is necessary to survive. Would this be good for your survival, or would they get you killed? Well, how do we make the judgment? We make the judgment based on 8 different criteria. Let's begin with criteria number 1, of course, comfort level. One of the most important ones. And in order to test the comfort level of all the boots and shoes that I review on this channel, I do a 3-mile run, non-stop, then a 5-mile walk, non-stop, no pauses in between, and then I continue wearing the boots or shoes that I'm reviewing for the rest of the day, so that the total wear time is 8 hours. And like I said, I am a fan of the comfort level of these boots. I'm very impressed. There are a few factors, of course, that contribute to the comfort level. First one would be the weight. Now, this is size 10, and let's see if my internal estimator works any good. I would say about 14 ounce. Let's see if I'm anywhere close. Wow, I'm way off, but I'm happy that I'm way off, because this is well under. This is 12.1. Let me tell you guys, 12.1 for a mid-size with as bulky, and not in a bad way, well, a little bit, but we'll talk about that later, of an outsole as here. 12.1 is unbelievably impressive. Very lightweight for everything that you're getting in this. This is just fantastic. Now, whenever it comes to the mid-size, alright, mid-size boots, usually I say that if you want lightweight, you want to find something under 20 ounce. The more under 20 ounce, the lighter. A little bit over 20 ounce, not a big deal, but now you're getting into the heavier category, right? Heavyweight category. Keep in mind, this is almost half of that. Unbelievably impressive weight. So of course, running in these, I mean, if you want to use these as a trail running shoes, you can definitely do that, because they're super lightweight. But there are a few other things that contribute to the comfort level. One of them would be the flexibility of the outsole. And as you can see, this is super flexible. Not too flimsy like some of the shoes, but definitely flexible. So if you're running in these, you can definitely run properly in this boot without any problems. All right, moving further to the inner sole, let me take it out and demonstrate it, because we have the Fresh Foam Special from New Balance. Check this out. Not much of the cushioning, definitely enough. It feels pretty good. There's quite, not too defined, it's still pretty soft, but somewhat of a heel pad, somewhat of an arch support, not bad, not too much, not too aggressive, but at the same time it is there, so very good. I would say this is very nice, very balanced. Once you remove the inner sole, let's move on to the padding. As you can see, the tongue is very nicely padded. There's some padding in the shaft, really nice padding in the heel, and then throughout the whole shoe you have this very soft fabric, which is not very good for the protection, which we'll talk about later, but for the comfort, this is super soft. And one thing that I wanted to point out here, whenever you're walking or running, as you can see, the creasing spots right here, they don't create the pressure points, which is very nice. Overall, this is super soft, super comfortable feel in this mid-size boot. I do like the comfort level quite a lot. But let's move on now to the criteria number 2, which is proofing and protection. Now, proofing wise, there's not much to talk about. This is not waterproof. Again, this is kind of a personal preference whenever it comes to waterproofing. Some people prefer waterproof, some people don't. And I'll explain briefly why. Well, one of the reasons whenever it comes to the waterproofing boots, most of the times they're not as breathable. All right. Now, you do have a clearance here for some waterproofing, so I do prefer waterproof midsize. But here's the thing, if you do get, honestly, it's quite easy to get the water inside of the shoe. There's not much problem, all right? You stab, you splash the water, it gets in, and now it's wet. With non-waterproof boot, because it's more breathable, it dries up faster than with a waterproof boot. All right, so from the outside you have waterproof, but water can still get in quite easily, and it will be harder for the boot to dry. And that's why this personal preference comes into play. You wanna waterproof or you don't. Really, it is up to you. This one is not. So if you prefer more breathable, if you prefer something that dries up quicker, this is definitely the way to go. Now let's move on to the protection. Not much for the protection. I know it says here toe protect. Honestly, they just should get rid of it because it doesn't offer pretty much anything. I mean, yeah, it does maybe a little bit from like a mosquito that lands here, but it's really, really soft. So don't drop anything heavy. You know, on the rocky road, yeah, you know, small rocks might not feel it, but still, this is very, very soft, so keep that in mind. Obviously, you do have some protection in the shaft because you have the shaft. You do have some reinforcement in the heel, but again, overall, this is a very soft shell shoe. Let's just go with that, all right? So don't rely too much on the protection. However, from the outsole, you do have plenty of protection, but we'll talk about that later in the outsole. For now, let's move on to the criteria number 3, quality and the design features. Now, quality-wise, New Balance. People like New Balance whenever it comes to the outdoor stuff. I mean, I'm not surprised. They do have some pretty good things. I have reviewed quite a few things from New Balance, and they have not, especially whenever it comes to comfort, they seem to know what they're doing. And quality-wise, the build quality, as you can see, is pretty impressive. All right, and you can find some older models. I mean, this is a newer model, so there's not a lot of reviews on Amazon. The link, by the way, if I find the links on the backcountry, I will put that in the description below as well. Not a lot of reviews, but as you know, the longer we go, the more reviews there will be, and I'm sure they're gonna be pretty good. Now let's talk about the design features. Usually here I talk about the lacing system. The lacing system here is very straightforward, nothing crazy. It's more designed to be lightweight, so it's the flimsy, thin, flat laces. Not a fan of those, but again, these are designed to be as light as possible. You can see it here. It is a light boot after all. Now, not much here for the hooks, but you do have 2 pairs of open hooks, which is great for a mid-size hiking boot. Definitely helps whenever you're hiking. If you're hiking, for example, uphill, downhill, adjusting the tension, that definitely helps. Okay, let's move on now to the criteria number 4, outsole, traction and stability. You probably noticed the Vibram. Okay, if you are an outdoors enthusiast, you know Vibram. Whenever it comes to rubber from Vibram, they know what they're doing. It's one of the best, one of the quality, all right, quality rubbers out there for the outsole. It's tough, it handles very well, it provides a very nice grip. One thing that I wanted to point out here is super unique. Listen guys, I have reviewed hundreds of boots and shoes on this channel. Okay, check out this channel. I reviewed a lot of stuff here, especially boots and shoes, and I've never seen anything like this. Check this out. Check out this outsole, and I'm trying to, yeah, there you go, zoom in. You see how on the side of these grooves it has the teeth. Super aggressive, and I absolutely love it. And another thing that I wanted to point out, it's not only in one direction, but it is in both directions, which is absolutely fantastic. On slippery surfaces like wet grass, this bites in like it belongs there. I mean, it handles very, very well. And whenever I do my run and my walk, I do it on a whole bunch of different surfaces. Yes, wet grass, dry grass, wet sand, dry sand, rocky road, trail surface, marble tile, regular asphalt, rubber, just everything that I can find. The rocky road, it handles great on literally everything that I tested it on. Fantastic outsole. And another thing that I want to point out, this kind of like micro-aggressive, right? Micro-aggressive grooves. It's also the overall that if you look at the outsole, it's flat. It really is flat. So on sandy surfaces, on mud, there is really nothing to kind of get stuck in, and no weird stuff where the mud can get stuck or the sand and take away the the lightness, add to the weight, and take away from the obviously traction stability, make it more slippery. Not the case here. Fantastic outsole, great job New Balance, you guys nailed this one. Okay, let's move on to the criteria number 5 now. Temperature. Obviously this is not waterproof, it's not insulated, so we're not going to talk about cold winter temperatures, pointless. This is not for cold at all. But for hot summer days, very nice, very breathable. Again, because there is no waterproofing, you have extra breathability. Very breathable boot, fantastic. So for hot days here in Florida, no problems at all. Okay, let's move on to the criteria number 6 now really quickly. Sizing. These are true to the size. The fit is kind of spacious, and I wanted to point out this is one of the not a lot of boots out there that has an option for a wider toe box. These not only have an option for a wide, they also have an option for extra wide, which I have never seen before. Again, hundreds of reviews. Yeah, a lot of reviews, and I have not seen an extra wide boot before. They have that option, so you can definitely find something that fits you just right. This is a regular version, and it's not too narrow either. It's very nice, not, I wouldn't say like spacious in a bad way, but definitely decent. Okay, and keep in mind, I prefer more narrow, more tight fit. Okay, let's talk about the criteria number 7 now. Balance of application. If this really was your ultimate survival boot, would this be good? I think that's a fantastic option. And yes, it has absolutely fantastic outsole, just great outsole. It has a really nice comfort, it's super light. But I think the best feature of this mid-size boot is that it is very, very stylish, okay? And usually I don't talk about the design. I don't really care about the design because it's super personal. You know, you look at something and you're like, I like it or I don't like it. Honestly, I'm not a fan of the looks, but nevertheless, it does look very kind of fashionable. On another plus, I wanted to mention, if you click the link in the description below, there are plenty of color options that look even cooler than this one. So you can find something for yourself that you can wear as a cool, tall sneaker, all right, on a daily basis. Wear it to the gym, wear it to the grocery store, to work, if they allow it, or whatever, unless you have a uniform. Something that you can wear every day, which is a huge plus whenever it comes to the survival situations. Why? Because survival situations, they happen unexpectedly. It's not always that, you have a fancy survival boot in your house, something bad happened, and you're in your house and you put it on and you survive. No, you might be outside of your house. Then what? Do you have to come back to put on your boot? Yeah, might not have an opportunity to do that. With something like this, you can wear it on a daily basis and be prepared for your survival for the most part, at least whenever it comes to the shoes, right? Because it's right there. You have a very inconspicuous, cool looking, fashionable looking, tall sneaker, right? That gives you some protection in the ankles, that gives you fantastic outsole that just gonna handle on pretty much anything, whenever it comes to the variety of different terrains. And also it's super light and super comfortable. It's really hard to beat that. And the very last criterion here is criterion number 8, the price. Okay, so the price is a little bit of a downside here. It's $160 currently on Amazon. Again, the link is in the description below. $160 is a little bit of a slap in the face. Let's just say that. Why? Because usually for $160 you get a mid-size waterproof, Gore-Tex waterproof boot that has the Vibram outsole and then all the cool fancy features, right? More than this. Here you have a non-waterproof boot and and it's $160. I understand it's brand new model, it just came out. If you want to wait, the prices will go down, $30, $40, 6 months down the road, it will be cheaper, okay? So if you really, really want specifically this boot, wait around. But keep in mind, there's plenty of competition in that price range from serious competitors like Salomon, for example, Adidas Terex, for example, La Sportiva, there's a lot of stuff there, Merrell, Keen, there's a lot of stuff right there, and I reviewed a lot of stuff on this channel. So check it out. Maybe you'll find something even better for yourself. So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think about this particular boot or shoe? What do you think about this review? If you have any requests for reviews, drop them in the comments below and I will be happy to address them. As always, thank you very much for watching. Always appreciate your time. This was Ultimate Survival Gear. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.